Which phrase most effectively sets up the examples in the second part of the sentence? All right, so just from the words set up or sets up, we know that this is a setups question. There's going to be 2 to 3 of these on your test. And what this question asks you to do is evaluate the examples. And so this is question 3. The examples are going to be in this sentence, right? It's referring to the examples in the second part of the sentence. So everything after this colon. So what we're trying to do in this question is identify the choice that best sets up those examples. In this case, those examples happen to be in the same sentence as the setup. Sometimes they're from further away. It'll be like later in the paragraph instead of in the same sentence or later in the sentence. But our approach doesn't change regardless of the distance. And in a question like this, none of the choices are going to have incorrect grammar. Your job is not to fix the grammar in this question. It's to find the best setup. So all of these things are going to be grammatically correct, but they won't be tonally correct or they won't be logically correct. So I'm going to read this sentence and try not to pay attention too much to the stuff that's underlined because that's going to color my impression of what the examples are, but everything after this colon, and remember the function of a colon is to list stuff, usually as evidence for a claim. So this says, regrettably, electronic medical records require infrastructure that can be expensive to build. This is a negative expression. We've got regrettably here. They don't require physical storage space. They don't need to be photocopied and collated, and they are less likely to be physically misplaced. Now, all of these sound like positive attributes of digital medical records rather than negative attributes. So if I were going to look for a choice that effectively sets up these examples, I would look for something that says, wow, they're so convenient, or here are some things that I like about electronic medical records, rather than saying, unfortunately or regrettably, they're so expensive, because that seems like a negative that isn't really connected to their conveniences. This colon is doing a lot of important structural work. It's a very useful clue that tells me that choice A is not my choice. Because if it were, both of these things would be positive. So let's go through the other choices and see what else we've got. And we're looking for something positive. Choice B, electronic health records provide many advantages over paper ones. That's positive. Researchers have weighed the benefits and drawbacks of electronic health records. That is neither negative nor positive, that's neutral. Typically, electronic health records need a full-time staff to maintain them. That is a drawback of electronic records. I'm going to say that's negative. So we've got one negative, one positive, one neutral, and one negative. So if we're trying to match positive expressions to positive expressions, then our answer is B. These examples all reference and compare the benefits of digital or electronic health records compared to paper physical ones. And B is the only choice that provides a setup that explicitly says paper ones, that does the comparison work that the examples are providing evidence for. So in conclusion, if you see the phrase sets up in the question, it means you're going to be looking for examples, and the examples will tell you what they are setting up. If you can identify what it is the examples are comparing or supporting or contrasting with, then you'll have a much easier time of identifying the answer. On test day or on any paper pretests that you have, take advantage of your physical medium and mark up the question with pluses and minuses. That can provide a very useful shorthand for you to quickly evaluate choices.